Okay, hello everyone. Sorry for the delay, but we have some audio check issues. I'm Maz, and today I'm playing Ikaruga for score. This will be a max score run, or at least a try at a max score run. So no scorecards. I will try every risky stuff I can, and I will be with commenting with me. I will have the opponent.
Yes, this is the opponent speaking. I'll be doing commentary this morning. So MAZ says they're aiming to play for a high score. Their personal best as of January of this year is 35.2 millions. See if they can beat it today.
Okay, let's go.
Stage 1 first section is rather straightforward. So for those unaware, scoring in Ikaruga is almost entirely determined by chains here. Destroy 3 enemies of the same color to increase the chain counter. After 9 chains, the bonus hits the maximum of 25,600 points. So it goes without saying that you'll want to keep the chain as high as possible. But unlike the predecessor Radiant Silver Gun, you don't want to miss the majority of enemies here. You want to destroy almost all of them. And you can see that absorbing bullets of the same color increases the energy meter for the homing laser. And you'll want to use this in certain situations, or not all of them, but as often as possible to not only hit enemies you normally can't reach, but also to quick kill bosses. Destroying mid-bosses will spawn waves of bonus enemies until the next section. And starting with this one here. And the sooner you destroy those large enemies there, the more of those small enemies you'll get to increase your chain even further. Especially that one there. That was a quick kill. Now, with the homing laser, you can power it up to a maximum of 12. And even though their pattern looks random, it's actually very predictable. And mastering exactly where each shot will land is key to getting the most chains out of it. Here come the waves of bonus enemies, which will spawn until the boss appears. You can see we suffered an unfortunate chain break, but end of the stage, it's less consequential there. Also, the first boss here comes in 3 phases, and it's one of the few places in the game where there's actually a degree of RNG. Timers for most of the bosses begin at 100 seconds. And you earn a bonus of 100,000 points for each second remaining by the end.
Okay, since we have some time, I will restart. Since I have some time, I will restart. I have like 7 to 8 minutes for restarting, so...
I think the target score for end of stage 1 is 4 million points. Alright, clean segment here once again.
Sorry guys, I had some problem with the screen. Real sorry.
Alright, third time's the charm. So this run is running on normal difficulty, which means that, as you can see, enemies will release parting shots upon being destroyed with the same color, with the same colored laser as their main body. This only happens on same color. On easy difficulty, no parting shots are released, and on hard difficulty, all enemies release those shots. Now, on easy difficulty, even though there's fewer bullets in general, that also means less opportunities to power the homing laser. And there's also fewer enemies overall, so some may argue that easy difficulty is actually harder than normal. And chat's mentioning that Ikaruga is a refinement of what Radiant Silver Gun was. I'm reading that upon its release, its reception in Japanese arcades wasn't entirely positive because they weren't entirely sure what to make of this new concept that this shmup has something resembling a puzzle element. Eventually, they came to find out what it really was, and that scoring, or the route for optimal score, is by design not obvious. So it took them some time to figure out what the optimal strategies were. Then it was released to the North American market on the GameCube in, I believe, 2003. And it was real popular with importers on the Dreamcast until a wider release on Xbox Live and the 360. And then a number of other ports, first on Steam, and then PS4 and Switch. For the record, this Steam version is considered one of the highest quality ports, just about arcade perfect, except in some very minor details that aren't important for gameplay. $129 chain, that's almost ideal. I believe the theoretical maximum is 134. And we go again with the boss.
Okay, I took it a very conservative route because I have time for restart. So the boss was quite slower, a lot slower than expected.
Still hit your target of stage 1 at 4 million points though, so it's still good. I believe stage 2 is something of a strong suit in your recorded runs. Carefully time those homing laser releases. You notice a couple of enemies escaped there. That was deliberate to keep the chain status aligned. World record for the score is I think 36 millions on normal difficulty. Extend rate is 3 millions for the first one and 5 millions afterwards. There's no limit on the number of lives you can earn, but you can only carry a maximum of 9. There's more careful timing of the homing laser there to destroy all of those enemies elegantly. All of these boxes also contribute to the chain. Few of those last ones cannot be reached. Those can, though. Personal best is 35.2 millions as of January 2nd of this year. Those things down there. Got your extend not too long ago, so that's fine. And still destroyed fast enough to spawn bonus enemies here. Normally it's important to enter this boss with as much energy saved as possible so you can destroy one of these halves as quickly as you can. As again, destroying or scoring quick kills is also very important for score.
Okay, that was a bad double miss. Normally for a scoring run, every miss is an automatic restart, but I want to show the rest of the game since we have no more time, so we are pressing on.
Right, and there is it's also important to not lose any lives because bonus points are awarded for each remaining life at the end of the game. Really aggressive here with homing laser since you're given plenty of ammo for it. the stage is much faster paced than 1 and 2. Simply combined. The Shige chase at the end of the stage is especially infamous, but for my money, I think the flower in stage 4 is even harder. The recovery in the opening of stage 3 there. Poke that first enemy there to make sure you get the most out of your homing laser, and the rest. Tapping the fire button only once gets you 1 shot instead of the regular 2. This is important to do for manipulation of enemy HP in some situations like that one. I believe some runners even use auto fire just to get a single stream of single shots for easier manipulation in some chaining situations. Close call there. Another unfortunate change there. Good Shigi battle there, and then these infinitely spawning enemies will fill out the rest of the stage. He's coming laser every chance you get as the lasers come out. A trim.
Okay, Uzura is regarded as the hardest boss in Ikaruga. I messed up the setup of the white segment distraction, so I lost a life.
More difficult than even the final one?
Yeah.
Stage 4 is where all my runs begin to falter. There's way too much happening here for me to follow.
Okay, let's see what will happen, because stage 4 is usually my rank crasher, but we can say that the world rank was a rank crasher, so let's see.
This segment here is known as the flower. Very easy to lose chains here. Especially because of all this stuff you need to dodge. Next extend is coming up soon, so that'll be some relief. Barely any room to maneuver around here. Better out there than inside the flower, though. And there's the extend. Imagine being Treasure in the year 2001 and being, yeah, we just made this game. Only 5 members of Treasure were struck to the development of this game, and some assistance from GRev, who were also at the time trying to raise capital for Border Down. Less than a dozen people made this in 2001. So yeah, they did kind of just make this game, in a sense. Especially since it was conceived during Hiroshi Iuchi's break times. And there's a big document on GameFAQs describing its lore, and that's also part of it too. Now, all of these other mini-bosses with timers, they all contribute to the end of stage bonus. That's 370,000 points here and there. Another impressive thing that probably isn't as obvious now is, or probably wouldn't be obvious to anyone who doesn't decide to look into the data. It's only like less than 20 megabytes in 2001 for an arcade game that was released on Naomi. Just think about all the visuals and audio you see in here. How does this fit on only, like, what, 20 floppy disks? I don't have the exact number, but it's kind of a thing to think about in an era where video games are being released on CDs. Here's another opportunity to score a lot of points if you can quick kill this phase. 270,000 points. So this boss also makes this look easy. If you'll open one of these shields, stay close, and use your homing laser at the first opportunity. And wait until max, and then when you get pushed out, change polarity and end it quickly.
Okay, stage 4 was probably the strongest stage till now, if not for the death at the first speed boss. That was quite unfortunate, but it should be around 7 million or maybe a little less. Yeah.
And there's another extend. We're in the home stretch now. There's a few waves of enemies before entering the final boss rush. Just one escape, that's fine. segment would be a good thing to show if you want to show somebody Ikaruga in a nutshell, isn't it? The final boss, or second and final boss, has 3 phases. And the text here calls back to the final boss's message to the player from Radiant Silver Gun. It's a similar message here. Kind of resembles the personal best one. Now this last phase is one of my favorite boss battles in all of video games. If you do this the way the developer intended, destroying the boss will cause it to explode in time with the orchestral sweep at the end. I tear up just thinking about it at random because of how expertly composed it is. Unfortunately, when you're doing a scoring run, that isn't the thing to do. You're actually much better off absorbing all of these homing lasers from the boss end, waiting until the very last second to destroy it, because you'll get more points from that than the maximum time bonus. So that's what's going to happen here, right? Okay, looks like they're going for it. They should get an extend by the end of this too for a little insurance on the actual final boss. Just imagine having to do this in arcade. In order to change polarity, or you press polarity or button 2, but to fire your homing laser, you need to press both buttons at once because you usually don't get a third. Extend this now, or you won't get any bonus if you let it escape. One of the most visceral things possible if you're able to do that properly, though. There is one extend, one extra life for the stone light. Just like Radiant Silver Gun, machine gun fire is unable. Just absorb all these shots for 60 seconds and you win the game. Nothing more to say here. Each of these 3 phases lasts about 20 seconds each. I think that's the hardest one here, is it moving left and right and erratically changing the patterns here, so it's almost like changing lanes in traffic when you can't see it. Last phase. And that's Ikaruga. Well done.
Thank you very much. I'm quite not satisfied with this run because survival-wise it was not good, to use proper language. Raw score was not bad, I should admit, but I just keep dying and dying. I think a little bit of nerves. I should check if sharing both on the Discord and via OBS lower the responsibility of the game, because it felt a little bit less responsive, to be honest. But I will check it later with calm. I still hope that the run was entertaining. take it like more of a demonstration of what can be done. Also, I love to underline that in some strange way, I'm happy that the run was this rough, because when you see an high scoring replay, you just see the high scoring replay. But a lot of raw runs and a lot of hard work are needed to reach a high score. So for all the viewers that are not accustomed to shmupping, this is a nice slice of shmup pie, if I can say so.
Yeah, having all those deaths is rather representative of the process of learning how to play one of these games, and having no lives remaining for the last phase does make for a very dramatic watch, if nothing else. And one person in chat says, this game is poetry and expert players are modern-day bards. I've heard it said that learning to play a shmup like this and memorizing all the movements you have to make is a lot like learning to play piano. You have to memorize all of it, but it's still impressive considering the effort that goes into learning all of that.
I'm happy that you make this comparison, because I have a strong past as a piano player, at least classic piano, and I can totally relate to it. I was, let's say that when I started to learn the game, I applied a lot of the little learning tricks I learned from my piano days, and the fact that it's like the chains. Think of the chains as the keys, and you have to execute them properly, and the only way to execute them properly, perfectly in one single run is to practice, practice, and still practice.
Also, I propose that this game works on white and black keys, just like the piano.
But this is true. I want to say this is true for every shmup played for score, because you have to know your route. You can improvise to some extent, but you have to know your route, practice your rules, and execute your rules. Those are the 3K passages.
Also, musical score, high score, there's a connection there as well.
Yeah,
That was Ikaruga and MAZ for Shmuptember 2023. Coming up next, Aquas brings us Escato's 1cc scoring run. Really underrated hot gems there. And then he takes fearsome revenge on Wolfang for a 1cc on that game. You're watching Retro Gaming Live TV. Stay tuned.
Bye.